If you were in the Pokemon world, what would your Pokemon team look like? Well, in today's video, me and my friend Yam are going to be giving you our teams, and by the end of the video, you guys will choose which team you resonate with the most. And by all means, you can also follow along with us and give your own team down in the comment section below. But without further ado, my name is Pokey, and this is what my team would look like if I was in the Pokemon universe. So the first Pokemon on my team has to be my favorite Pokemon ever. I don't think any Pokemon team is complete without your favorite Pokemon. And this Pokemon is none other than Greninja. The XY series was what got me into Pokemon in the first place, and seeing the Ash Greninja transformation as a kid was just something else, man. How people view Sung Jin Woo as the king of aura farming is how I viewed Ash Greninja when I was a kid. He was the definition of aura farming. Another reason why I love Greninja so much is that the concept itself is so smart. A frog ninja uses its tongue both offensively and defensively is so versatile. I love the theme of an animal becoming a freaking ninja, and we all know that every animal that turns into a ninja is sick. Just look at Ninja Turtles. I am not about to let this theme die. Let's keep it going.
First up, it will be obvious that I will begin my team with a starter. I want to be a little realistic and choose a starter based around my area. This led me to believe that my starter would be Trico, as geckos are the only animal based off a starter that lives near me. Trico's traits in the anime would also match my personality, since in the anime, he's pretty chill. If I started my Pokemon journey as the usual 10-year-old, I would train it until it's a Grovyle and then procrastinate for a couple years until I'm 18. And then I'll continue my Pokemon training, with the aftermath being a fully evolved Sceptile. After evolving, it'll be a fairly strong Pokemon with a good moveset and decent stats. I probably won't Mega Evolve it, even if I get the chance, due to it being quality to ice and essentially gaining nothing in return. I believe that living with the Sceptile line would be fairly easy. Since Trico is a grass Pokemon, I would assume you still have to feed it, but you can also use fertilizer and sunlight. For food, I'll give it its favorite Pokepuffs. I would buy high-grade fertilizer for it weekly. As for sunlight, that's easy, as I can just go on walks with it.
Now moving on to my second Pokemon, I have to include my favorite fairy type ever, Gardevoir. Now I know my list of Pokemon so far may seem basic, but as Karen once said, real Pokemon trainers will win using their favorites, so get off my back, alright? That being said, the reason I love Gardevoir is simply because I love her shiny Mega, and I feel like it is one of the most, if not the most, caring Pokemon in the entire franchise. The amount of loyalty that Gardevoir has for its trainers is actually insane. The definition of I would burn the world for you if it was a Pokemon. I would want a Pokemon that would be my best friend and protector, and Gardevoir just fits that description perfectly. Her design is also incredibly pretty, and the dynamic between her being a princess and Galena being her knight is also very cool. And the final reason is simple. A lot of you might not know this, but I love competitive Pokemon, and although I don't play as much as I used to, I still try and reach Master Ball rank by just using my favorite Pokemon. And Gardevoir was a part of the team when that happened, so I have lots of love for this Pokemon. From its design, its lore, and character traits, and just being a fun Pokemon to use in battle, this Pokemon means a lot to me.
This next team member might be a little biased, but I chose Aegislash. This Pokemon would be the one I actively hunt in my region until I find and capture it. Once I capture it, then I would immediately make it my ace Pokemon. After I cut Aegislash, I'll go all in on becoming a traveling Pokemon trainer. After all, I got my favorite Pokemon. Aegislash has always been my favorite Pokemon since I discovered the franchise. The fact that it can switch stances between Sword and Shield is just so cool to me. For battles, it has an amazing moveset and typing. Ghost Steel has 9 resistances. 9! And depending on the stance, it can either have 140 offenses or defenses. I like strong Pokemon because I love winning, and Aegislash typing would be essential in my Pokemon journey. I would be careful not to actually wield Aegislash, because if you didn't know, it immediately kills you. To take care of Aegislash, since it is a sword, I would assume that it needs to be sharpened and tempered regularly to be kept happy.
And the next Pokemon on my list bringing my team to half completion will be Talonflame. I think it's like a legal obligation to have a flying type Pokemon on your team. Like every single trainer in Pokemon has at least one Pokemon with wings, so for that reason I decided to go with my favorite flying type Pokemon and regional bird, the GOAT, Talonflame. Now a lot of my love for this Pokemon stems from also watching the Pokemon anime where Ash catches Fletchling as his first catch in Kalos, other than Froakie of course. And I remember thinking as a kid that this little bird is going to be on Bro's team. I mean, sure, who knows what could happen. I loved Fletchling's design, and the name was perfect for the little guy, because it is super cute, and you'll find me saying cute and cool a lot throughout this video, but all Pokemon are just that, cool and cute, so I'm sorry about that. But then seeing Fletchinder for the first time in the anime during the Sky Battle, I think it was, that moment changed my entire perspective. I thought its design was phenomenal, and I was truly ready to see what hidden potential this Pokemon had, and dear gosh, I was not disappointed. Talonflame looks like what Moltres should have looked like. If Talonflame had fire wings, then he would be the new legendary. I could go on and on, but yeah, this guy would be my birdie. Also, if you guys are enjoying yourself right now, why not subscribe to see more of my video library? It's completely free. But thank you regardless for watching, friends. It means a lot. Anyways, back to the video.
Next up, who wouldn't have a Pokemon team without evolution? I decided to go with Umbreon since it is the objectively best one in design and daily life. Umbreon has always been my favorite evolution because of its proficiency in battle and how cool it looks. The black fur and yellow rings make it look amazing. It is still fluffy and can be cared for easily. Just like my previous Pokemon, all you have to do is feed it, play with it, and train it every once in a while. For combat, it's really defensive, moves like Moonlight and Toxic to stall. Since it is a dark type, it doesn't have too many weaknesses. The reason I didn't choose any other evolution is because they all have some caveats. Flareon would burn you if you pet it. If you try to bathe a Jolteon, there's a chance you get electrocuted. A Glaceon sneezes on you and boom, your hand is permanently gone. Espeon and Sylveon are just generic and don't even get me started on Vaporeon. Umbreon continues to be the best evolution. Wait, I just checked its Dex entry and it secretes poison? Well, I'm not changing my answer. We'll deal with that later.
Now, as if our Pokemon team wasn't stacked enough, I feel like I would want a Pokemon to snuggle with whenever I want. You know what I mean? Like Ash's Pikachu. I need a Pokemon I could just have on my shoulder and not have to put it in my Pokeball as I'm entering a mall or something. Something cute that would give me my daily dose of happiness. And what better Pokemon than Popplio? I know what you might be thinking. Popplio? It might be shocking, but Popplio is just so cute, bro. My favorite character from Sun and Moon was easily Lana, and part of that reason was because of Popplio. When I was watching Sun and Moon, I was also playing through the game, so when I saw a character that had my starter, I just resonated with it so much. The way Lana treated her Popplio was how I treated my own in Pokemon Care. I'm not kidding. Also, yes, Popplio was my first Pokemon starter in Sun and Moon, okay? Fight me. And eventually, if it does want to evolve into Primarina, then so be it, because Primarina is also very majestic. Dare I say more majestic than Milotic. And don't call me out on having 2 starters, because Ash had 3, so yeah.
Speaking of poison, my next member would be Roserade. Roserade is just such a cool and underrated Pokemon to me. It became my favorite after playing multiple Pokemon fan games and it's always clutching battles. I think grew to love it even more because of its design. A Pokemon that I think is associated with Robin Hood and it even attacks with its roses, that's just so cool to me. Like I said earlier with Treat though, taking care of a grass Pokemon would not be that bad since it's literally a plant. All you need to do is give it fertilizer, water, and even walk outside with it so it can get sunlight. I would have to be careful with their barb since the Pokédex says that it has near fatal poisons. But it smells really good, which is a plus considering it would be nice to be around. For combat, its typing isn't great defensively, but it's pretty good offensively. Being super effective against Greninja, Water, and Fairy types would be amazing in the Pokemon world. It would probably be my second strongest Pokemon due to its high speed and special attack stats.
Now, I know having a bunch of legendaries and mythicals on your team is stupid. I agree wholeheartedly. But having one mythical or legendary on your team, now that I can turn a blind eye for. And for that reason, my special Pokemon would have to be the GOAT, Zeraora. Now, before all you come at me, yeah, Shaman is my favorite mythical, but I would rather have a Zeraora on my team just because I feel like having a mythical powerhouse just exudes aura. But if I could have both, I would. Don't worry, Shaman. No one is replacing you, buddy. But in all seriousness, I feel like I always loved Zeraora since the Power of Us movie. That film was so popular during my childhood that I tried my absolute hardest to acquire Zeraora in any shape or form during my Pokemon playthroughs. And I even nicknamed my Zeraora Hero because I play a lot of randomizers in my free time, and every single time I get one, he carries my team so hard. And come on, man, how could you hate him? He's a Thundercat. That's freaking sick. All in all, though, I think my team is cooking so far, but of course we need one last member. But before that, back to Yam.
This next one is an obvious choice for people who depend on electronics every day like yours truly. Rotom can possess any of your electronics and increase its capability by 1000%. Phones, TVs, washing machines, you name it, and Rotom can upgrade it easily. For example, if Rotom is possessing your phone, then not only will you have an infinite battery, but it will also act independently, which will be pretty neat. Rotom could also possess your TV, and you now have free cable for as long as you want. If you have a Roomba, then Rotom can upgrade it, and now you have a flying Roomba that always keeps your house clean. It can even hack into a police station if you ever get caught, and then you are simply free to go. If me and Poke ever met in real life, then I would use Rotom to prank and mess with him every chance I got. Since I am obviously the better Pokemon trainer, I wouldn't go too hard on my victim. Taking care of Rotom wouldn't even be difficult, because it just needs power to survive, which my house has plenty of.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, my last Pokemon to round out my team for my Pokemon journey will have to be Lopunny. And here it comes. Now, my favorite normal type in all of Pokemon is Lopunny, but the reason I've never said that on my channel is because I know how weird the Pokemon community can get. I love bunnies. I find them so cute and endearing, and the only reason I don't get one is because I heard they poop a lot. But I loved animals growing up, and every time I went over to my friend's house, he would always let me play with his pet bunny. And this was during my Pokemon phase as a child, and behold, there was in fact a bunny Pokemon, that being Lopunny. But I loved Lopunny, man. Every single time I get one, I name it Wabbit if it's a guy, and Cutie if it's a girl. I know, corny names, but I'm the kind of person that sticks to my childhood names, and that's what I did, alright? And I love this Pokemon. Baneri is just unfathomably cute, and Lopunny is just so precious, and the dex entries back that up. So whenever people become weird about these Pokemon, I never ever try to bring these Pokemon up because, yeah. But regardless, that won't stop me from getting my favorite normal type on my team. Also, look at it. It's so fluffy. But anyways, that's my team. And now let's end it off with Yam's last Pokemon.
To end off my Pokemon team, I didn't want to be like the other people who simply put an unrealistic Pokemon on their team. So I decided to choose someone basic like Ultra Necrozma. I feel like me and him would get along swimmingly. I would take him on walks, get him groomed, and even frequently take him to the Pokemon Center for checkups. Necrozma is one of my favorite Pokemon despite its lackluster appearance in Pokemon media. It is a shame that it's only slightly competitively viable, and I wish it was stronger in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. For battle, I don't want Necrozma to get too hurt, so I'll just only battle kids like Little Timmy or Youngster Joy just to be safe. Maybe I would train it every once in a while, but even I have to admit that its stats are okay at best. It would probably walk with me wherever I went as I want to show off my cute Pokemon. Taking care of him would be a breeze. I think he just needs a little bit of light. I guess a caveat would be the extinction of humanity. But anyways, that's my team.
But now that we finished our teams, which one of us had the better team in your opinion? Me or Yam? Let us know in the comment section below as I do read it and respond to a lot of my comments. And make sure to give us your ideal team in the Pokemon world too. And don't be afraid to pick a legendary to add as well. I won't judge. But that's all Yuki wrote, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.